girls rescue, met the bar, witness said. Tears fled the head, I'm waiting, I guess she tweet, I guess she confess, she thinking less, not drinking less. Bathroom says, best to get spontaneous, I stereotype. Put to rest tonight. Imagine, believe, and achieve, it works. Skyline as I rise like fireworks. Smell through the bad, don't.
Hey, hello everybody, and welcome to this edition of After the Storm. Of course, I'm your host, Matt Clark. This is your Thunder post-game analysis show, live stream. If you really want to know about the Thunder and listen to what really happened in the game instead of some watered-down bunch of BS that you get on the broadcast, because I sit there and I listen to it sometimes and I'm going, what are you talking about? I just don't understand some of the stuff they do. It's like the other night, he was like, he got asked, Michael Cage got asked the question, why are they double teaming SGA? And he went in this long, well, you have to pick your poison. No, they've decided that they're going to take the ball out of SGA's hands by double teaming him and making somebody else on the Thunder beat you. And it's up to Josh Giddey at that point to be at the end of the game to catch the ball and there's your ball, go. It's up to Josh to catch to not pass the ball, but to finish. Sorry about that. Ace is being needy right now and wanted me to throw him the ball, so I just tossed him the ball into the living room from my office so that he will go play chase and leave me alone for a little bit. But tomorrow I'm going to go buy him some more bones, so he'll be happy and be able to deal with that. But anyway, that's why they double team SGA. And even the casual fans should know that. They're double teaming him for one specific reason: to get the ball out of his hands to make somebody else on the Thunder beat you. And the ball should always go to Josh Giddey, and then Josh Giddey needs to shoot the ball instead of trying to make passes and do all this. Be selfish. It's SGA 1, you 2, Josh. That's the way it should be. So that's the answer to that. And then also, when you get back from the All-Star break, we're going to start a series called The Rules of the Game. So then every game we're going to give you on every show, we're going to give you a different rule, like what's back court, what's a charge versus a block, what constitutes a flagrant one versus a flagrant two, why do referees overturn certain things, and so we're going to do a thing called the rules of the game. And my guy Mike Deba had talked me into doing this, and I think it's a great idea for you fans to help you guys become more knowledgeable about what's going on with the Thunder, what we're doing, what we're not doing. So, but anyway, the Thunder just smashed them tonight. I don't know if they got the over, because I knew Drew had my guy Drew hit on of HuskerDrewPicks.com. I don't know if he actually hit the over, because I think it was 224 or something like that. I want to say the score was 133 to 96. So I'm not sure if we got the over for him. It's going to be real close. I know he's going to be pissed off. But Houston was just awful tonight. The Thunder just took care of business. It took them a while to kind of get going, but this is what I saw during the game. In the first quarter, Thunder, we started out with SGA, Josh, Dort, J-Dub, and J-Will. Why we haven't been doing that lineup most of the year, I have no idea. No idea, but he's finally found a lineup that he's going with consistently. Thank you. Thank you, finally. You've got 3 of the 4. Oh, we got 4 of them. And if it's not going to be Wiggins and it's not going to be Poku, then yeah, I have no problem with Jay Will. And Drew Henthorne of HuskerDrewPicks.com is extremely happy, because he loves some J-Dub and Jay Will. And he's just been balling. And to me, it's like, why has he been in the G League? Why have you been playing Baisley and all this? But I guess they're playing Baisley to get rid of him. And by the way, we saw a sighting of Saric tonight, and want to say that, man, what an improvement over Mike Muscala. What an improvement over Baisley. Somebody who can get up and down the court, who can be physical in the lane, who can knock down the three, but most importantly, can actually guard somebody. So, well, thus far, tonight. Okay, let's not jump ahead of ourselves. We'll see what's going to happen, because the end of the schedule is coming down, and what we're really going to see what the Thunder really are truly made of. And we're going to go over that tomorrow on the Unpopular Hour, the show that I do every day, our live stream that we do every day with High Stick Harry, Ben Dillman, and of course Drew Hinthorn of HuskerDrewPicks.com. By the way, if you have not been going to HuskerDrewPicks.com, go to it because the man has just been crazily on fire. And if you want to make some money, I'm not a gambler. I don't really do that. I mean, I like to go to the casino and play my Lucky Ducky and have some fun, as my guy Mark Long teases me about. But I love me some Lucky Ducky. But anyway, I like to go play that. But and I do play some blackjack and some three. What is it? The 3 card poker, I think, is whatever it's called, 3 card. I like to play that game some, but I just don't really. It's just not my thing. I like to take $100 to the casino because I feel if I go out, that's about what I spend. Okay, so I take $100 in. It's like when it's gone, it's gone. I don't take my credit cards in or anything. I take my ID, and that's it. That's all I take. So anyway, to get back to the Thunder game, the Thunder were in attack mode, and they were not selling for threes. And when the Thunder, as we talked about, like we got beat by the Pelicans the other night. Why? Shooting threes. I mean, we started off with Dort shooting the three. I mean, we cannot shoot threes. It's just not who we are. It's just not. And you go out and you start shooting threes instead of being aggressive, attacking the basket, moving without the basketball moving. I think Jay Will tonight on the interview, he was talking about that. Hey, we share the basketball. Yeah, when you're moving. SGA's attack moving. If you will come for the backside, he will give you the ball. Josh will give you the ball. You will get the ball. But, the rule number one is if your man turns his head, you attack the basket. But when you're standing out there on the 3-point line looking for threes and shooting in brick, which we did right in there, I want to say it was in the third quarter we did that. When he puts Lindy Waters in the game, we're up 26, 28, puts him in the game, and then we just get stalemated because everybody starts shooting threes. And like I said, I like Lindy, but why are you playing him so much? He should not. He's a role player. He's a G League guy. He's a two-way player that should play no more than 2 or 3, 4 minutes, and yet you play him over and over and over. And every time you do him, if he's in there for an extended period of time, the other team makes a run and gets into the flow of the game. And then you got to pull him out. Then you got to put somebody else in there who can stop. And then we got to start. I don't understand your thinking, Coach D. I don't get you. I don't understand your thinking. I don't know what the hell you're looking at. I really don't. But anyway, the Thunder got on a run. It was just really nice. At 22 minutes, at 5 minutes and 37 seconds, we had a 22-13 lead. And then you insert SGA, Joe, Robinson Earl, K. Will, and Saric. And I tell you what, I like Robinson Earl coming back, but he attacked the basket a little bit more today. But you can just say he was off on a reverse. And he just got to get his legs back under him, getting used to being in playing shape, and just can't be relying on the three. And then we'll look at the box score here in a minute. So at the end of the first quarter, the Thunder were up 39-21. The Rockets were 1 for 7. What did we talk about? In fact, let me go do this right away. Right when we start this, let's do the keys to the game. Let's do that. The keys to the game: Thunder, get off to a good start. Play within ourselves, continue to move without the basketball, which we did not do against the Pelicans, and limit the opposing team's open looks, okay? Limit their open looks, which means fly around the court. So when you look at what I just posted, and then you come back and you look at the Rockets, 1 for 7 from 3, 21% from the field, 15 rebounds, 8 points in the paint. Pips, because remember, in those 2 losses, they just killed us on the offensive glass and just got every look that they wanted. So, 4 turnovers for them. Oklahoma City, on the other hand, 1 for 7. There we go. And Dort had, I think, 3 of those. I mean, he just gets us. He's just not a 3-point shooter. I just wish the coaching staff would say, look, stop shooting a bunch of threes. You shouldn't shoot more than 2 or 3 threes, 4 max a game. You should not be shooting 6, 7, 8 threes a game. There's just no way. 50% from the field. 15 rebounds, 24 pips, 1 turnover. Now, one thing about Dort, when he does attack the basket, he is so out of control when he goes in there. So I guess that's why they would rather him stand out there and shoot threes. But it's like when he shoots them. That's my problem. I don't care if you shoot threes, it's when you shoot them, because that makes all the difference in the world between points and not having points. Bench scoring, the Rockets had 4, OKC with 10. 10. Not bad. Like what I was seeing right there, 10 that. So start the second quarter, which, has been our Achilles heel, because the second and the fourth quarters have been our Achilles heel as far as when we get off to slow starts. That's been our biggest thing. It's just we're getting off to so slow because of who we have. Now, we do have Josh every second and fourth quarter, which I love, but it's who you put with Josh. Now, this particular second quarter, he had Josh, J Dub, Saric, K Will, and Robinson Arrow. Man, that's not a bad five right there. Not a bad five. So it's about who you have in the game, who you start the second and fourth quarters with, which determines what's going to happen in that quarter instead of you bringing SJ in there with 9 minutes to go, like in the Blazers game, to save us, or 6 or 7 minutes to go, where he's got to come in and he's got to get back in the groove. Then you got to add a couple of guys with him in order to get us back into games for the start of the third quarter or halftime, or to finish out the game in the fourth quarter. But what I saw is here's my notes right here. Still in attack mode. We're still in attack mode because you really don't have guys who like to shoot threes in that deal except K. Will and Robinson Earl. But those guys were strictly in attack mode, not standing as Robinson Earl, not standing on 3 point line like he did the other night looking for threes. He was attacking the basket, moving without the basketball, and that's what you've got to do on this team. Our team has to move without the basketball to get into the floor of the game. Then you can shoot threes, but shoot them at the 3 point line, not behind the 3 point line. And what I mean by that is we can't be shooting 28 and 30 footers. That is not who we are. But that's who Dort thinks he is. And when we start Isaiah Joe is shooting, which I don't mind because he's shooting 45% and he's leading the NBA in 3 point shooting, which I thought was interesting because I was listening to them. They were talking about why isn't Isaiah Joe in the 3 point shooting contest. Why don't you ask Isaiah Joe why he's not in there? But on the other side of that, he's not a star. He doesn't play that much. He's a role player. And you look at the All-Star in the 3 point shooting contest, which one of these players in the 3 point shooting contest are role players? They're all starters or predominantly starting players. Now, if Isaiah Joe plays more minutes, maybe next year, if he can get into the rotation more, then yeah, he can play. But he could have got in there. He could have petitioned. The Thunder could have got him in. But let's face it, Isaiah Joe is a spot-up shooter. If he really thought he was good enough to be in a 3 point shooting contest, he would be in. But he's a catch-and-shoot guy, which you have to be in a 3 point shooting contest. Now, tomorrow on the Unpopular Hour, we're going to get more involved and more in detail about All-Star Weekend, who's in, who's not, who's in the 3 point shooting contest, who's in the dunk contest, who's in the skill contest. So we're going to go more over that and get more in detail about that tomorrow. So it was 33-55 with 7 minutes to go. You've got Josh, K. Will, Robinson, Earl, Dort, and Lindy Waters in the game. Okay, then at 4 minutes and 20 seconds, we're up 64-37. 64-37. So you were up 22. Now you come back and you're up 27. But we made a little run. And I'm just like, dude, when you look at this team, it's just very frustrating to me. It's extremely frustrating to me. It just is. I just don't understand this coach. I just don't understand him. Now, I'm nicer than some people are who are out in the community, who are basketball players, who talk about the Thunder and what they're doing. I'm a lot nicer to him than they are. I'm not going to repeat some of the things that they were saying about Coach D because I just think he was very good for what we were trying to do at that time. But now that we're moving into another realm of trying to win, he is not the guy. And if you Oklahoma City fans will start watching it, like I told you, he costs us 6 to 8 points every game. Well, 6 to 8 points against the Rockets is nothing. 6 to 8 points against Milwaukee is everything. Against Boston is everything. Against Phoenix is everything. Against the Nuggets is everything. Against the Warriors is everything. Against teams you're trying to beat, it's everything. You cannot give away points because of who you think you really like and let me go play this guy. He don't deserve to play. He should not be in there. Your rotation needs to be this. There's 26 games. What are we, 28 and 29? So what is that? 57 games into it, and there's 82 games left. So what is that? 25 games left? Dude, you have to be in a tight rotation now of 8, 9 guys tops. And Omen Yuri like him. She's a two-way player. He should not be in there. Lindy Waters, two-way, should not be in there. You need to go with your 8 to 9 so that we can get into the playoffs. Because right now, if you look at the West, standings. These are current right now as of this particular moment, right after the Thunder game. We are still sitting at 12th, which is the play-in game against the Lakers. Now, if you think we're going to beat the Lakers in a one-game series with LeBron and AD going at, that's not going to happen. I like our team, but look at us. If the Blazers get beat by the Lakers tonight, then boom, we jump up to 11th, and then them and the Lakers are in that particular spot. So going into the All-Star break, we could already be in the playoffs, not in a playoff game, play-in game, excuse me. So we could be sitting pretty good right there at that point. So I don't want to see see us in the play-in game. I want us actually in and ready to go. So we shall see how that works. I guess we still would be in the play-in game with the Jazz right now, wouldn't we? But anyway, the Thunder, we're right there. But we have 25 games left, and then we'll go over what the remaining schedule that we have and how important it is for victories. But we don't need to be playing. We need to be 8, 9 deep right now to get us into the playoffs. Then worry about the playoffs later. But you got to be 8 or 9 deep. You can't be playing a bunch of players. You got to who your 5 are with your starters, which is SJ, Josh, Dort, J-Dub, and J-Will. So you know that. Those are your 5. Then you know you're going to be playing Saric, and you know you're playing K-Will, and you're playing Robinson Earl right there. And then you're going to have Isaiah Joe. That's your 9. And then Trey Mann, I don't mind having Trey, and there's your 10. Those are your guys. Other than that, nobody else needs to be playing. That's your 10 right there, period. And then if you want to cut Trey Mann off, that's fine if that's what you want to do, but I wouldn't do that. But if you want to, that's fine. But that's your 10. But you need to be, that's where you're at. And then you got Isaiah Joe in there subbing in when you can, or or Trey Mann at the end. But that's your 10. Max. And like I said, you've got Josh, J-Dub, J-Will, Dort, and Josh, and SGA. That's your 5. And then you've got K-Will, that's your 6. Savage, that's your 7th. And then you can pick between Robinson, Earl, Isaiah Joe. You want Isaiah Joe simply because he's been stroking the basketball, so you want him in there. So you know that's your 8 and your 9, right there. That's where you need to be. And then you can, if he's off, then you can rotate in Joe and Trey Mann as your 8th rotation player or 9th, whatever, and put Robinson Earl in there as your 8th. And then rotate those 2 in, depending on what you go. So that's kind of my opinion on what we need to do. So in the end of halftime, the Thunder are up 76-54. There's been 52 free throws in this game. That's insane. 52 free throws. The Rockets are 6 for 15 from 3, 35%. And like I said, what are one of my keys? No, limit the open looks, and we definitely did that. We're flying all over the place on defense. 24 rebounds, 16 pips. 9 TOs. Oklahoma City 4 for 14, just terrible. So at least we were 3 for 7 in the second quarter. 52% from the field. A lot of that had to do with Isaiah Joe. 52% from the field. 25 rebounds. 42 pips. Points in the paint. That's just where we need to always be. Is just attack with 2 turnovers. The Rockets had 12 bench scoring points. Oklahoma City had 35. And part of when you look at the Thunder and where we should be and what we should be doing, I always talk about the Thunder. And when you look at who we are and our shooting percentage, oh, wow, that's not what I wanted. Sorry about that. Where's my NBA news? Oh, man, where's my stuff? And I got to redo this whole thing. But anyway, when you look at where the Thunder is and what they're doing, and I'm going to go back and I'm going to find where all of our stuff is. I need to mark that better on this so I can go to it right there and say, here's where the Thunder are our rotation. Well, our numbers, where we are number-wise, what we owe, what we don't, where we are. So I need to go back. I have that in here. I just need to find it where I'm at, but I'm going to make it to where it's more accessible for me to be able to push a button and I'll be able to have it. So that being said, let's go ahead and thank Collaborative Logic, our sponsors, Collaborative Logic. Appreciate everything they do to keep me up and running and set and ready to go. Wouldn't know what to do without those guys. They are absolutely amazing. So if you need any computers or you need any software written that can make your office run more smoother, or you need a website built, they are the people that you need to see. Mark Long over at SRB, they love to be behind the scenes for any engineering, surveying, or planning. They are the peeps that you need to holler at. Oak Grove Trucking and my guy Jose. Hey, Jose, call Drew. He needs some help with some stuff. And Greg and Max Nafee, as always, I appreciate their support in everything that I do. Last but not least, YNB, family owned and operated since 1912. They are the bank that makes things happen. They're an equal housing lender, member of the FDIC, and the thing that I love most about them is that they sponsor our remote live streams to minority, black, and women owned businesses in the OKC area. You can pre-qualify online at www.ynbok.com. That's www.ynbok.com. Or you can go in and see them since they are a personal bank. They want to see you. So go in and see Nathan Taylor, Joe Horn, or Carson Wright. They love to be able to see you personally and be able to communicate with you because they love to know who you are as a person, look you in the eye, and then afterwards get you to sign on the dotted line and write you a check or deposit it directly into your account if you bank there, which of course I do, and I definitely recommend it. And they have multiple locations for you to be able to go to. And like I said, tomorrow, if you'll watch our show, The Unpopular Hour, with myself, Drew Henthorne, and High Stick Harry. Ben Dimon, I love High Stick Harry. But anyway, you can watch us, and we're going to give more of an in-depth report on the Thunder guys, the three Thunder guys who are playing in this year's All-Star game, which, of course, SGA is the only one playing actually in the game. But J-Dub and Josh are playing in the where the rookies and the second-year guys score each other. And, of course, this is the second year in a row for Josh. He played in the last year, played really well, and I look for him to do good as well. And, of course, J-Dub's just been on fire doing what he's been doing. So, started the third quarter. The Thunder, of course, start their starters, SGA, Josh, Dort, J-Dub, and J-Will. Love that group. And then what did we do right off the bat? Come out shooting threes. We were one for our first 7 shooting threes. Here we go. We come out, we're 3-point shooting. All of a sudden, what is you going on? Timeout. Boom. Hey, what happened to moving without the basketball? What happened to being in full attack mode? What happened to being aggressive going to the basket? What happened to all that? Why are we all of a sudden shooting all these threes? I mean, we shot 4 straight threes. We shot 3 of them on one possession. Timeout. Hey, what are you doing? And then, of course, Dort is out of control going to the basket every single time because that's just not who he is. That is not has been his skill set. Never has been. Now, all of a sudden, he's trying to be something he's not. And instead of our coach putting him in his place saying, no, Lou Dort, this is what I want you to do. This is who I want you to be. This is what we need out of you. He just goes crazy. And he just goes out of control. And you all know the same thing I do because I'm in the stands with you and I can hear you being just as frustrated as I am about it. Okay, but what ended up happening, the Thunder finally settled down, finally started attacking the basket, getting back in attack mode. And once we get in attack mode, and we're playing downhill, as you want to call it, once we get like that, we are hard to beat. Now, we don't have the big guys and the talent to really, go with some of these other teams, but we do have an NBA All-Star, and then we have a one that's a budding All-Star, and it's Josh Giddey. So we do have 2 players. The rest of them are strictly role players, but we've got 2 players who can go. And with that, we're going to give teams some fits. But like I said, you can't just go out and be playing a bunch of people. You have to keep your tight-knit on who you play and who you don't. And Sarge has been a very nice fit. I like what I see, but like I said, it's been 1 game. So I'm not going to say he's great or I would give him a B+ on his first game, but I'm going to see what you can do past this. And like I said, tomorrow we're going to go more in detail about the Thunder, who we got coming up, who we're going to play, who's in the All-Star game, what does it take to get in the 3-point shooting, how do you get picked, and all of that stuff. So we're going to go in all of that and get into more detail tomorrow afternoon on the show. So the end of the third quarter, the Thunder are up now 116-78, and which is crazy. This is the 4th time in the last 6 games we've had 100 points after 3 quarters. That's just crazy. If you remember where we were last year, this time last year, this is not what you could. There's no way that anybody, not even Nostradamus, could have said, "Hey, the Thunder are going to be 28-29 this time next year, and they're going to have 4 games in their last 6. They're going to have scored 100 points in the last 3 quarters. Within 3 quarters, there's no way anybody's going to believe that. No way, because it's hard for me to believe even when I look at it. I'm thinking, what the hell is this for real? But of course it is. The Rockets 8 for 25 from 3. The Thunder 34, holding them to 34% field goal shooting, only 36 rebounds, 30 pips, and 14 turnovers. The OKC Thunder, on the other hand, are now 8 for 23, 55% from the field, 37 rebounds, 58 pips, which of course scoring at 16 points in the third quarter that we had in the paint. And once we get downhill, like I said, we're hard to beat. 6 turnovers. The Rockets had 29 points from bench scoring. OKC Thunder with 38. And I look and I like what I've seen. Like I said, our Thunder team, dude, I love our team. And this has been when I first started doing the show, and I first started doing this last summer or end of last year. I told everybody this team has potential. And everybody said you're crazy. But a lot of it is, hell, y'all weren't going to the game, so you don't know what you were seeing and what you weren't. I'm sitting there watching the game. I'm dissecting it. I'm looking at it. I'm seeing the improvement. I'm seeing where SGA started taking over. And from the point he started taking over and started scoring 25, 28, 30, because I said SGA needs to be about 24. He was averaging 21 or so at that point. And then he turned the switch on. He started averaging 26, 28 points a game. And I said, now you need Josh to be 20 points. You had Dort as your second lead scorer. I said, Dort can't be your second lead scorer. Josh has to be your second lead scorer. And now we need Josh to be up around 20 points a game. Once Josh gets into that mode where SGA is 28 to 30, Josh, as we know, he's around 20 to 23, 24. When we get there, I promise you, the Thunder are going to be hard to beat. Because now you got 2 guys who are just going at you that you can't stop. And then once Josh figures out the three-point shooting, and once he gets that fixed, his outside jumper, he's going to be really hard to deal with. Now, I think SGA at some point is going to have to develop that three-point shot. He's just going to have to. I just thoroughly believe that. So, to start the fourth quarter, the Thunder start out with K-Will, Lindy Waters, Saric, Isaiah Joe, and Robinson Earl. Not a bad 5 to start the game, start the fourth quarter. But, of course, I mean, we're up so far, it's kind of hard to lose that lead. And then we ended up bringing Jay Will and stuff. They ended up, and Wiggins ended up playing more because they started coming back on us, which, of course, they did. And then the Thunder, of course, made the plays and made the things they need to do to keep the lead out and then extend it. So there's really not a lot for me to say about the game other than the Thunder just thoroughly dominated for the second time in a row, which they should, because the mark of a good team is that when teams are really at the bottom of the league, you need to blow them out, beat the crap out of them so your starters can get rest. SGA doesn't need to play the fourth quarter. Josh doesn't need to play the fourth quarter. Sit them both down, get them rest, especially going into the All-Star break. So you want your guys to rest. That's the sign of a team that's slowly starting to get there. Okay? So, in the game stats, the Thunder end up winning 133 to 96. And I think Drew did win his over. I think it was 2. What did he say? I can't remember what. Let me see if I can go back and find what my guy Husker Drew Picks.com over was for the Thunder. 234. So he did not get there on that. I'm sorry, Drew. You did not quite make it. You were 5 points short on that. But anyway, the Oklahoma City Thunder now are 28-29. The Rockets fall to 13-45. The Rockets end up being 10 for 37 from the 33%. Thunder defense was just overwhelming and just smothering them and not allowing them to do a whole lot. 47 rebounds, 38 points in the paint, which they killed us before, and we kept them off the boards. Fantastic job. And a lot of it has to do with Jay Will. Had a lot to do with Jay Will and what he was doing, and what an inside presence that he was. Tonight, 17 turnovers for the Rockets. Oklahoma City 9 for 34, and of course, second game in a row we were doing that bad. We were 9 for 33 against the Pelicans. It's just way too many shots. Way too many shots. Then we beat. You go around, you look at that, and you beat Portland, and you only shoot 24 times. But of course, you were 12 for 24. But every time you're off, the more we're off, not make. It's like when we're on shooting threes, we shoot less threes than when we're not on. When we're not on, we shoot a bunch more threes than we do when we're making them. It's weird. 43% from the 48% from the field, 49 rebounds, 64 pips, points in the paint, and 10 turnovers. Then we outscored the Rockets bench 55-44. But of course, what did you expect it to be when those two are going at it? So then, when you just got your bench guys in there at the end, uh, you know how I love to compare the first half to second half stats. First half stats, the Rockets. God, I don't even know how did I mix that up. I have Rockets 133 and us 96. How the hell do I have that back up? Anyway, uh, you can look at the Rockets' 3-point percentage. The Rockets were 4 for 22 the second half from three. 4 for 22. That is outstanding defense. The field goal dropped from 35% to 33%. Oklahoma City on the other time were 4 for 14 from the at half, and ended up being 9 for 34. So we were 5 for 20 the second half. 5 for 20 the second half. That's just ridiculous, and that's why your field goal percentage was down to 52%. Excuse me, dropped to 48%. We out rebounded them by 1 in the second half, and then of course we were up by 26, and ended up being up, and we gained no ground and points in the paint. How funny! Turnovers, we were up by 7 and ended up winning by 7. And then we were up by, what was that, 22 at half in bench scoring, and ended up 11. And of course, that's because their bench just came out, and we were just kind of getting through the game, no big deal, just trying to finish it up. And box scoring, Jay Will had 8 points, 3 for 9 with 16 boards, 2 for 5 from 3. Great job, young man. J Dub 13 points, 5 for 7 with 4 rebounds. SGA 29 points, 8 for 16, much better game than he had the other night against the Pelicans with 2 rebounds, 6 assists. Josh Giddey 13 points, 5 for 10. Really like that stat line, 50%. Only 3 rebounds tonight. And that had a lot to do with Jay Will just snatching everything inside. But Josh also had 6 assists. Lou Dort 15 points, 5 for 9 from the field, 1 for 5 once again from 3. I mean, just killing us. You just got to corral that. 3 rebounds and 3 assists. Sarge 12 points. Nice debut. 4 for 8, 1 for 3, 5 rebounds. Not a bad outing, but like I said, that's just one. And we'll talk more about him and what he's going to do tomorrow on the Unpopular Hour. Tomorrow afternoon around 2:00. So we'll do that. Probably going to come on a little early tomorrow because we've got a lot to talk about. Robinson Earl 9 points, 3 for 4, and a much better outing than it was against the Pelicans. But you can tell he's still a little rusty, but he will wear it off. Lindy Waters 6 points, 2 for 7, 2 for 5 from 3. We just got to have him better than that. Just got to be better than that. Omen Yuri 5 points, 1 for 3 with 1 rebound. Kendricks Williams 6 points, 3 for 7, 0 for 2. Like Kendricks when he's attacking the basket more, but he's missing some shots that he normally has got to be able to knock down. But sometimes he gets out of control and plays outside of his capabilities, and when he does that, that's his stat line right there. Still not bad, 40-something%. Trey Mann, 4 points, 1 for 4, 1 for 2, considered not bad, considering he and Wiggins both played with the Oklahoma City Blue today. They still came out and did pretty good. Wiggins, 6 points, 1 for 1. I just don't understand why he's not playing more, but, whatever. Now you got Robinson Earl back. I'm assuming his minutes will go way down, if not to nothing, especially if Sark tends up being who he is. Isaiah Joe, 7 points, 1 for 4, 1 for 3. Not that great, but not that bad either. So, what can you say? The Thunder, nice win. Like I said, improving to 28 and 29. The Rockets falling to 13 and 45. Great win by the Thunder tonight. We finally ended up the series is 4-4. 2-2. I almost didn't do it tonight because this is the second time we played them or third time we played them in 7 games or something, or second time in 7 games, something stupid. Glad we don't have to see the Rockets anymore. I'm tired of seeing the Rockets. But I almost didn't do the show tonight, but I know that I needed to come on and talk a little bit about it, and especially since Sarge, this was his first time kind of giving my opinion on what I saw. So, that being said, I want to thank everybody for coming to the game. Man, I love when uh, when our facilities filling, when Paycom is filling up. Dude, it's so much nicer. The crowd is into it. And I tell you, you guys don't understand the impact that you can have on a young team if you have people in the stands. It makes all the difference in a close ball game when the fans are going crazy and it's loud. It gives you energy as a player. And that's what it means by home court advantage. And Oklahoma City used to have the home court advantage, and I think at one point we will get back there again once people start coming to the games. Those are with money. This is what I'm talking about. Those guys are the ones that need to step back up and start spending money again. So that being said, I want to thank everybody for watching this edition of After the Storm, your Oklahoma City post-game analysis live stream.